that only 40 out of 800 illegal miners have been prosecuted so far. That's very, very low.
Absolutely.
What is the plan in relation to prosecution of people involved in Galamsey?
Well, everybody who is involved in Galamsey, as far as the investigation is done by the appropriate state institutions and the necessary arrests are done, it doesn't matter whether you have any ties with ChannelOne. We live in a country where ChannelOne was allowed to leave this country, even which was an attack on our judicial system. That is not going to happen, whoever is engaged in it. And President Mahama has demonstrated that in the past, that under the Fourth Republic, Bernard, the only political party that had the courage to prosecute members of their government who engage in anything illegal or criminal is President Mahama and the NDC. Under the Fourth Republic.
In opposition, you supported the civil society groups who said there should be a moratorium on small-scale mining. Why haven't you ordered that or asked the president to order a moratorium on small-scale mining?
We are just less than 1 month. And I'm saying that we haven't even had a first cabinet meeting. So if you ask me this question, that would be unfair. But only to say that President Mahama promised that he was going to repeal LI 2464,
which allows mining in the forest reserves.
And what? Yes. You see?
LI 2464.
2464. You know
have you begun processes to do this?
In fact, we have. We have. And we are far advanced. I, as the minister responsible for initiating the process to ensure that this particular LI is repealed, far advanced.
So you are very sure that this LI will be repealed?
Far advanced.
Are we talking days or weeks or months?
In fact, far advanced. Maybe within days, the people of this country will hear something on it.
The law that allows mining in forest reserves definitely is going to go.
Yes, because look, against every single advice given by civil society organizations, clothed with the capacity to ensure that our environment is sustained in mining, President Nanado ignored everything and went ahead with that. And everybody knows that it was not just to pave way for people to mine in this country, but to pave way for a particular company to engage in mining. Even before the law, people were engaged in mining in forest, reserve forest areas and water bodies. People were engaged in that, but they were doing it illegally. But the moment that law was passed, it gave people the opportunity to go ahead to destroy our reserve forests and water bodies with alacrity. And that is why President Mahama says that, look, we need to take a second look at that law, repeal it, and come up with a law that will be acceptable. Because there are some concerns that have been raised that assuming that we find certain natural resources that will be beneficial to the growth of this country, and they are found in forest or reserve areas, what are we going to do? And those are the processes that we have actually started.
Yesterday, some youth of a place called Obuonhu Fanti in Ayensuano demonstrated against what they describe as the unlawful burning of excavators by the Forestry Commission. Now, the Forestry Commission officials burnt excavators they found in the forest because they said they were allegedly being used to invade the Tiwa forest and the Ayensu River. Does your ministry endorse the action of the commission in burning the excavators?
Well, I don't know the circumstances under which those excavators were burnt. So I will not be able to sit here to say that we endorse it or not. If I am aware, these are the reasons why the excavators were burnt, then maybe I will be in a better position to either endorse that or condemn same. So I will not be able to speak to you. One thing I can tell you, Bernard, this government is poised in making Galamsey or illegal mining unattractive. And that is precisely what we're going to do.
There's a big conversation also about illegal logging. And I'm bringing these things because they affect the environment. In opposition as well, your colleague Clement Park was very concerned about rosewood.
Yeah.
This week there was a story from the Western North region about people doing some wanton logging. Has that come on your radar? And what is your general view around tree cutting for commercial purposes?
It depends on the circumstance under which those trees are logged. If you do something that is permitted by law, because clearly, even mining, we are not saying that there shouldn't be mining. That is not what we are saying. But there shouldn't be illegal mining. Sometimes people misconstrue that into thinking that all mining is mining that the government condemns. If you look at the new EPA law, the new EPA law makes the EPA permit precondition to any other permit that anybody will get. And for me, that is something that is very positive. Because people have had permits from other state institutions without even the permit from EPA, and then they will go ahead and engage in some of the destructive activities that they engage in. Now, with the new EPA law, it has given the EPA some authority that for you to even go ahead to mine, then you should have had you should have had the EPA law, even for exploration and everything to be done. So these are some of the things we are looking at. Look, Bernard, the focus of the ministry is not only limited to Galamsey. It's not only limited to the environment. The technology and science aspects of the ministry is another thing that we are giving tremendous attention to. Of course, Galamsey is a major issue. It affects our livelihood. It affects even our existence. If you observe my vetting, I made references to biblical quotations and Quranic quotations, the need for us to ensure that the environment in which we live is protected. If you read Genesis 2:15, and if you come and read Quran chapter 2, verse 30, the good Lord or Allah or God is admonishing us to do everything possible to preserve the world in which we live in. I did that because I wanted to send a subtle message to religious leaders that even on their pulpits, in what we call in Islam, mimbar, they should take it up a moral duty to advise people to do everything possible to protect the environment. So if you don't look at this, I mean, Ghanaians are largely religious. Now, if we bring in religious leaders, we bring in traditional authorities, we bring in youth groups, we bring in civil society organizations in this fight, for me, that is one surest way of us getting a permanent solution to it.
Okay.
So we are not just looking at stopping people from engaging in Galamsey. We are also looking at alternative livelihood. Okay. Because if you stop people and they say the justification, they don't have anything to do. Because how on earth could anybody sell his cocoa farm for the purposes of Galamsey? And the justification is that he can now pay his children's school fees. So we don't want any reoccurrence of that. So we are looking at alternative livelihood in the area of agriculture, in the area of entrepreneurship, where we can build the capacity of people who live in such areas to be able to have some meaningful life, so that it will not be attractive for you to get engaged in the Galamsey.
We're still in the point of view talking to the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology. When we come back, we'll deal with a few other issues, sanitation in relation to noise, water, and some of the issues around our urban spaces. Stay with us.